Woods and Bates, and this is Legally Speaking. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, I don't know, what would you call it? Practical advice, I guess. Practical estate planning advice. Some tips that we usually give to clients on, practical things about what they can do to make things easier if something were to happen to them while they're alive or after they're gone. So their kids or their nominated agents or executors are better equipped to deal with their new duties. I want you to share some of those.
Yeah, so I think the first piece of advice we'd give you is keep a list of what assets you own, where they're owned, maybe some contact information for your financial advisor. That way, if somebody is digging through your paperwork after you pass away, they know where some of your assets are and they don't have to go out and cast a large fishing net and come back with maybe limited information. You have all that listed right there for your child or some other representative to come in and know the location of all your assets. I mean, we live in a weird time period where there are things that come up. For example, there's a epidemic right now with the coronavirus. Somebody's stranded on a cruise ship. Maybe they need to have their power of attorney for property become effective so somebody can pay a bill back in the United States. Well, you want to make sure, first of all, that you have those documents readily accessible, and second of all, other than yourself, who knows where those documents are? So I think that's pretty key of making sure that information, not only do you have it in place, but other people know where that information is.
I think that's pretty imperative. Whenever I'm meeting with clients, I usually tell them it's a good exercise to go through and figure out what you own, where it's owned, how it's owned. If you have beneficiaries listed, who those beneficiaries are those the people you want to be your beneficiaries? Because in reality, a lot of that stuff starts way before, you think about estate planning. Maybe I got a life insurance policy back before I was married and had children, so I named my sister as the beneficiary. That may not be who I want to be the beneficiary anymore. I may want my spouse or my children, but that's got to be named, and the insurance company doesn't care if that's what you want if it's not what's on there. And having somebody know how to access those documents when and if the need arises is vitally important. And I see all too often that the people that are having to deal with a deceased individual's assets after the fact are having to do a scavenger hunt to try to figure out what they need to deal with. The people that we meet with when we do estate planning know, here's what I own, here's where it's owned, here's where my deeds and important documents are and things like that, but their kids may not, their friends may not, and that's important stuff.
Yeah, and I think whenever we meet with our clients, we try to take pretty detailed notes about that information. So after somebody passes away and they call our office and say, hey, here's the will that we had that you guys prepared for mom and dad. Do you have any other information about what accounts they may own? So we do keep some notes here in the office, but again, it's better to set that up on your own so that your agents or your beneficiaries know where those documents are. The other thing we advise our clients after they sign documents, where to store the originals. I just had an individual in this morning, and I told that individual with the power of attorney for property and the will, it's okay to keep those in a safe deposit box. If somebody passes away on a Saturday evening or a Sunday, not a lot of business is going to be transacted. However, that power of attorney for healthcare, if a medical emergency arises, it could happen anytime, any day. The hospital's never closed. So that power of attorney for healthcare document, you want to have that readily accessible. You don't want to have to wait until the bank opens on Monday morning at 8 or 9 o'clock to have that document. You need that document now. You need to have it in a safe location, and you need to have the agents know where that location is.
And the agents need to be able to access that. So I would add to that if you're going to put them in a safe deposit box and you have a property power of attorney in a safe deposit box, for instance, that agent needs that document to use it. So if you're stranded on a cruise ship in the Mediterranean Ocean, they can't get the document, they can't use the document. So some of those are conversations that you can have with your agents and your executors ahead of time and say, look, here's some of my wishes, here's where these things are, here's what you need to happen, kind of like emergency contingency plan, when things come up. And that's why we do a lot of the things we do, and we recommend a lot of the things that we recommend is, what if any of this happens? And I guarantee those people that are trapped on that cruise ship would have never thought that they were going to be on that cruise ship that long. But I think they have a long ways to go still.
Yeah, and the other thing along those lines is make sure that the safe deposit box, the key, make sure somebody else other than you knows where that key is, so that then again they can get in there and they can get those documents. That safe deposit box is a good place to keep your list of account information and those financial advisors. Another thing Glenn and I talked about was have your account information, your online accounts, email addresses, usernames, and passwords. Have those stored somewhere so somebody can access your accounts if they ever need to. Again, that power of attorney for property is going to give that agent the access to those accounts, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to call up and get your username and password very easily. They're going to have to go through a process and likely set up a new account and new information. Then they'll be able to access that. So we were discussing having your online account information accessible, obviously not to the general public or to a burglar. If they came in your home, you don't want them taking all of your identity information, but do have an agent or somebody that you trust know where that information's stored.
I helped a nominated executor one time search a house for safe deposit box key, and we actually found it in a manila envelope underneath one of those college dorm fridges in the kitchen of the deceased house. And we looked for quite a while to find it, but we did end up finding it. It was a pretty good find, but that is not always the case. You don't always find it if you don't know where it is.
And a lot of times the bank will not let you drill into that safe deposit box unless A, you already have that power of attorney for property, or B, you have a will or a court order that appoints you as the administrator or executor of that individual's estate. So again, that's going to take away one of those unnecessary steps. A little planning today will hopefully alleviate any burdens that are put on the people that are left handling your estate.
Yeah, I think the bank was going to accept an affidavit that we thought the will was in the safe deposit box, but we didn't have to go there, luckily. So those are just a few practical tips, I guess, that we have learned along the way, I guess you would say. Kind of learn more as you go every day, and things change. 20, 30 years ago, you didn't really have to worry about online accounts and online passwords and things like that, but those are huge. Digital assets are a lot of what we have now. So it's really important.
So I see Ivy League has already crowned their tournament champion.
Okay, who won that?
I think Yale won by default because they canceled their tournament due to the coronavirus.
It's pretty Ivy League of them. Big Ten tournament, full swing this weekend. It will not be canceled, I don't think.
I wouldn't think so. And it looks like there's going to be a pretty good rematch between Iowa and Illinois if everything plays out the way it should. And right now, I don't think those two teams like each other a whole lot.
No, we both got to go to that game on Sunday, and that was it was a good one. It was a good one to be at.
Very good.
Good win for the Illini. Hopefully, they can make a run in the tournament, maybe win the tournament, and make a run in the big boy tournament too.
Yeah, do you think they will play the games if there's no fans allowed in the stadium?
Yes.
Broadcast them?
Yes, absolutely. Too much money involved there. All right, well, thanks for joining us. Everybody enjoy basketball. We do have local elections coming up, so make sure you get out and cast your vote, make your voice heard, and we will see you next time. Thanks.
Thanks.